Welcome back to Indy Ball Nation. Had a lot of great action around Indy Ball last night, so let's just jump right in. We'll go back to the Frontier League because that Gateway and Evansville series is super interesting. After dropping Game 1, Gateway was looking to even the series and break their tie at the top of the West Division with Schaumburg. Meanwhile, Evansville was sitting just a half game behind those two. Evansville answered 2 early runs from Gateway with a 5-run fourth inning, which included a Brian Rosario delayed steal of home. That was missed by the Flow Sports broadcast. $30 a month. I said what I said. Gateway battled back with 2 runs in the 5th inning and tied it with a 9th inning run. In the 10th, Gateway was not finished. A Peter Zimmerman double and Clinton Freeman sac fly put 2 on the board for a 7-5 Grizzlies win. Shout out to the boys in the pen for the Grizzlies, by the way. Allowed no earned runs over 6 2/3. Struck out 12. Gross. Walked nobody. Gross. Heading over to Windy City. Joliet at Windy City. After winning Game 1, Windy City scratched their way back from 7-3 down to walk it off 9-8 in 10 innings. Adrian Reese had a tough outing, but Windy City's pen would hold Joliet to just 1 earned run on 4 hits in 5 2/3. Offensively, Will Riley, Paul Camolis. Oh, every time. I was already looking at the Troy Viola name. Man, brutal. I got Will Riley in front of me, Paul Camolis in front of me, Troy Viola, and Matt Morgan. All getting shout-outs. Only one difficult name. Was I ready for it? No. No, it was not. Story of my life. Moving right along. All of those guys popped off. G.J. Hill and Matt Feinstein did most of the heavy lifting offensively for Joliet in the loss. On to Schaumburg, seeing what they're up to with that division race. Schaumburg looked to bounce back from a 16-9 loss to Tri-City in Game 1. The Boomers would flip the script on Tri-City, running up a double-digit offensive performance of their own. Schaumburg's top 3 of Howard, Huffins, and Milazzo combined for 9 hits and 9 ribbies, getting after the top of that order. Each of those 3 homered, as did Quentin Selma. Aaron Altair hit his 7th homer of the year for Tri-City in the loss. Kobe Schlottman improved to 6-3, allowing just 2 runs over 5 innings for the Boomers. You like that for the Schlottman. Lake Erie at New Jersey. After Tuesday's rainout, New Jersey took Game 1 off Lake Erie thanks to a Keon Barnum blast. 3-run homer, walking it off. Jackals win that one 8-7. 8 homers in this one. Keon Barnum and Phillip Urban both homer twice. Great to see Irv going, by the way. Love that. Josh Raywald, he also homered for Jersey. Jack Harris, Sean Lawler, and Tyree Bradley all homered in the loss for the Crushers. On to Game 2. Lake Erie bounces back with a 6-3 win. J.D. Hammer, do with the glasses, dropping the hammer. Controlled the Jackals' high-powered offense in a spot start. Love that for him. Love that guy. Phillies bias, but I love J.D. Hammer, man. Drew Galassi and John Tuchillo, they both homered for the Crushers. James Nelson and Alfredo Marte go yard for the Jackals. That would be 12 homers in one day in that very normal ballpark, which we don't have anything else to say about. Interleague play, we're looking at Washington and Wild Things and the New York Boulders. Another doubleheader. Couple doubleheaders in the interleague play today. Then how about that? New York walked it off with a Thomas Walraven sac fly to win it 10-9. Walraven also homered in a 4 RBI effort in that Game 1. Washington would turn it up in Game 2 for a 13-2 win. Wild Things getting wild. Tristan Peterson homered as part of a 4 RBI game for him, and Sky DeBrule also had a 3-run homer in that one. Trois-Rivières went to Florence for Game 2. Trois-Rivières clips them for a 7-2 win. Tucker Smith, he was dealing 6 1/3, 2 runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk, scattered 7 hits. Way to get after it, Tuck. LP Pelletier, he led the charge, and you know when a guy named Pelletier is getting after you, you're playing a Canadian team and it's not going well. Pelletier, he led the charge to the top of the Trois-Rivières lineup. Clark Chiapparelli, he looked good, and Austin Markman homered for Trois-Rivières. For Florence, 2-hit game for Garcia, Fuentes, Burks, and Zaid Richardson off the bench, but it was not enough to flip the script for the Yalls. Sussex County at Ottawa. Sussex struck first with a 3rd-inning run, but it was all Ottawa from there in a 7-1 Titans win. Sick Narf Loopstock stays hot as hell. 3 more hits for that guy. Damon Casetta Stubbs allowed no earned runs on 5 hits, striking out 8 and walking 1 in 7 innings pitched. I accidentally said on Twitter that he pitches for Trois-Rivières because I was tweeting at 2 a.m. That's my bad, my guy. Pride of Ottawa, then. Damon has tossed now 19 straight innings without allowing an earned run. He has struck out 19 over that stretch. Gross. Empire State of Quebec to wrap it up. Want to hear the most Empire State loss ever? They cough up 8 runs in the first 4 innings of this game. They push 7 across in the top of the 5th inning to pull within 1 run. Momentum going, and the rain comes and ends the game. taking the loss that way. That is so brutal. Post-game concert looked like a blast, though, in Quebec, so the boys got after it in the rain. Love that for them. Have a good time, guys. I'd be having a good time, too, if I survived that one. Let's head to the American Association. Why not? Milwaukee at Gary. Gary wins in a pitcher's duel 2-1. Gary's bullpen goes 5 scoreless, so that was just 2 hits. Cam Belago's home run and Anthony Barone's ejection were not enough to push Milwaukee to a win. Chicago at Lake Country. Chicago and Lake Country, they played a doubleheader as well today, or last night rather. Game 1 saw Nick Banks homer twice in a 7-3 Lake Country win. Ryan Delgado, he gets the win in that one, allowing just 3 runs and 2 walks in 6 innings. He strikes out 7. Nicely done, Ryan Delgado, with a slant. Game 2, that was a wild one. Chicago scored 10 in the first 2 innings on the way to a 15-11 win. And remember, just 7 innings. Dustin Woodcock homered 3 times in this 7-inning game and lost. Ooh, brutal. Moving on to the Sioux Falls-Sioux City series. Sioux Falls hangs a 10 spot on Sioux City for a 10-7 win. Mike Hart homered twice, and Jabari Henry homered as well in the win. Vince Fernandez, Miguel Sierra, and Wilfredo Jimenez all homered in the Explorers' loss. Winnipeg at Lincoln. Winnipeg opened a 5-run first inning and kept it rolling from there on the way to a 10-7 win. Max Murphy, Gaskins, Williams, Holmes, they all have good days for the Gold Eyes. Will Kenger had a 4-hit day with one of Lincoln's 3 home runs. Lincoln needs him to start to go. If Lincoln's going to do something, they need Will to take part in that one for sure. But it's good to see that kind of game for him. Looking at Fargo at Cleburne, this is probably a series of the week in the American Association. Of note, Delano DeShields Jr., he gets released by Cleburne yesterday. He had not played since the 24th. Definitely raises some questions. I don't know what's going on there. He was slashing 291, 380, 440. Good year. Just now he's been released. Fascinating. If he's still around and plays some ball, I mean, I can think of a few teams that could use that. Moving on. Fargo looked to win their second straight against Cleburne and break their tie with Kansas City at the top of the West Division. Tyler Grauer and Cody Bullard got after it on the mound, both allowing just 2 runs over 6 innings, turning it over to the bullpen. But Fargo broke out against Cleburne's bullpen in the 7th. RBI singles from Alec Oland and Matt Goodhart, plus a 2-run double from Correll Prime. Boy, how good is he? That would give Fargo a 6-2 lead. However, in the 8th, Cleburne answered with 4 of their own. A 2-run Hill Alexander homer and a 2-run double from London Green led the way in that 4-run 8th inning. Cleburne finished the job in the 9th with a classic double intentional walk, hit-by-pitch walk combo to walk in the walk-off run for a 7-6 win. Cleburne gets it done, spoiling that for Fargo. Would Kansas City make the most of it? Jalen Miller walked out and said, "Yeah, I think we will." Says, "This is my mound now." Sorry, King County. Complete game shutty. 3 hits, 5 Ks. Shut it down. We're first place now. Hernandez, O'Grady, and Collins all go deep. 10-0 Monarchs win. That puts them into sole possession of first in the West. Let's head to the Atlantic League because we had another first-place battle going on. The Rockers look to tie that race back up in the South Division after dropping Game 1 of their set with Gastonia. And Emmanuel Tapia, sac fly, and Michael Martinez 2-run single opened a 3-0 lead for the Rockers early in the second. But Gastonia would answer quickly as a Zach Jarrett bases-loaded triple headlined a 6-run third inning. Steven Sensley, he would add a solo home run in the 4th to conclude the scoring in a 7-3 Gastonia win. Gastonia's bullpen showed out, tossing 6 scoreless, allowing just 1 hit. They've now tossed 9 scoreless innings against High Point in this series, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 11. Oh, Gastonia now leads the South by 2 games, giving them a 69% chance to win the first half. Nice. Spire City Ghost Hounds at Charleston. Spire City's late 4-run push wins a back-and-forth game against Charleston. It was a very entertaining one. Bobby Bradley, Dwight Smith Jr., and Telvin Nash all go yard in the losing effort for Charleston. For the Ghost Hounds, it was Becker, Dedello, Brault, and Marmaleos all having big days. Yep, that makes sense. That'll work for Spire City. Looking at Southern Maryland and Long Island doing battle in the North Division. The Ducks took Game 1 and looked to close the game-and-a-half gap on the Revolution. An early Braxton Lee RBI single was wiped out by a 6-run third inning for the Ducks. The Ducks would add another run on a throwing error in the 5th to make it 7-1. The Blue Crabs would strike back with 4 runs of their own in the 7th inning, but the Ducks put it out of reach with 3 runs in the 8th. Long Island goes to clinch the series win with a 10-5 victory here. Stephen Woods Jr. gets the win, tossing 6 innings, allowing just 1 run. Jesse Estrada gets touched up for 7 runs, 6 earned over 7 innings for Southern Maryland. Travis, Tejada, Cisco, and Dickerson all got after it at the dish for the Ducks. Looking at Staten Island at York, 4 late runs were not enough as Staten Island would fall short of completing a comeback, losing 6-5. Jorge Martinez had a much-needed good outing for York. They want him to get going. York still leads that North Division by a game and a half. Lancaster at Lexington. Mike Kickham's first Atlantic League start was a good one. Aaron Oceanbine, he would look great. 3 innings of work for him. All of that combined with Connor Owings and Thomas Diller going deep. Lexington wins it 5-1. Heading to the Pioneer League, Glacier at Boise. Boise looked to keep the momentum going from Game 1 and close the 2-game gap between themselves and Ogden at the top of the South Division. However, was that South Division? I got it. Boy, all runs together, man. However, Glacier is in second place, 2 in their own division, and they are trying to stay within striking distance of Missoula. Glacier would answer the bell in Game 2, exploding for a 12-2 win. And Nick Zegna he was just slanging it, man. He looked great. Took just 89 pitches to work through 7 innings, allowing 1 earned run on 5 hits, 5 Ks, no walks. Shout out to Zegna for helping a 12-2 game take under 2.5 hours. That's the kind of work we love to see. Christian Kirtley, he homered twice. Nick Lucky and Dean Miller also homered for Glacier. Looking at Ogden, Idaho Falls at Ogden. Ogden's offense stays red hot, winning 18-4. Boy, Idaho Falls just getting kicked around these days. They've now scored 82 runs over 5 games. The Raptors have. Ogden homers 4 times and scores 14 runs in the 2nd and 3rd innings combined. All 9 Raptors get hits and score in this one. Billings at Rocky Mountain. 4 RBI from Jalen Garcia and 3 RBI from Tyler Wilbur were enough to grab Billings a 9-7 win. Rocky Mountain couldn't make a 7-run 3rd inning stick. Peterson, Danzero, and Peralta all had good nights in the losing effort. On to Northern Colorado, where Grand Junction was taking on the Owls. We expected this series to be a mess. Game 1 was fairly low-key, but Game 2 was a true garbage fire. Grand Junction wins at 18-11 in a game that they trailed late thanks to 11 unanswered runs in the final third of the game. No home runs in this game despite the 29 runs scored, but just about every starter got after it. Diego Jordan and Calvin Marley stopped the bleeding in the Jackalopes' pen to secure the win. Missouri at Great Falls. Great Falls blitzed Missoula for a pair of 4-run innings in the 3rd and the 7th for a 9-5 win. Derek Colbush hit a 3-run bomb. Langston Ginder and Billy Hannock, they delivered as well. 2 solid innings of relief from Brady Held were key for Grand Falls to get it done. Great Falls still trails Missoula by a cool 14 games in the division, but it's good to get one when he can. Missoula leads Glacier by 5 games, now at the top of the standings. Heading over to the Pecos. Why not? The Empire League. What did the Empire League have going on? Japan Islanders at Plattsburgh rained out. Malone at Saranac Lake was suspended in a tie, so we're just going to pick that up when they finish that game. Moving from there, Tucson at Roswell after taking game. This is really the only game of note in my opinion. Tucson at Roswell after taking game 1 of this 2-game set. Tucson was now just 1 game behind Roswell, having won 6 in a row, and Tucson pops Roswell for a 13-5 win, sweeping the 2-game set and tying the Mountain Division race. Austin at Alpine. It was surprising to see Alpine scored just 6 runs against Austin on Tuesday. Well, they won 29-5 on Wednesday, so that checks out. Monterey Amberjacks at Marysville. Marysville beats Monterey 9-3. Evan Nakagawa and Mike Stelmack both delivered strong outings from Marysville, so keep an eye there. Bakersfield Train Robbers at Vallejo Seaweed. I could not find any info on this game, but someone on Twitter says that Vallejo got dog walked, so I'll believe that. That is all the action around Indy Ball today. Keep an eye out. I think, do we have some day games today? It's a Thursday. I feel like we have some day games today. I'm out of the loop. I've been burning time trying to figure out what the hell happened in Vallejo last night, so that's a good sign for my life. I'm Ryan from Indy Ball Nation. Y'all have a good one.
I may not have a lot, but I love what I got. A 4x4 and a good fishing spot. I hope this time my card won't decline.